So the first key step to good communication is listen when someone's talking. The second one is let your tongue out of the cage only when it's necessary. In James chapter 1, it says, men have 2 ears and 1 tongue. They should hear more than they should speak. Know what you're going to say before you say it. And then ask yourself, do I really want to say that? Is that really what I want to say? Would I be embarrassed or ashamed if God heard me say that? And if it won't contribute positively to the conversation, maybe you shouldn't say it. Because if you're speaking intentionally to hurt other people, don't talk.
Amen.
Or to paraphrase the Old Testament, thinketh before you speaketh. It's that simple. Thomas Jefferson said, when you get angry, count to 10 before you speak. And if you get really angry, count to 100 before you speak. Because when you speak, when you're angry, you will make the best speech you ever regret. In the Greek, in fact, the term silly talk in Greek comes from a combination of 2 Greek words, moros and lego. Lego means speaking in Greek, and moros is the root word from where we get the word moron. So in other words, am I going to sound like a moron when I say this? You can't control what other people say and do, but you can control how you respond to them. Because we're responsible for not only what we intend to communicate, but we're responsible for the effect we have on other people when we communicate. I read that there are 6 universal facial expressions. Regardless of where you live and what your upbringing is, there are 6 universal facial expressions. Happiness, fear, sadness, surprise, anger, and disgust. It sounds like a pretty good mix, but I also read that there is the potential for far more than that. It's estimated that we can produce over 20,000 unique facial expressions. 20,000 unique facial expressions. And Mr. Potato Head tells us that our face telegraphs our message. It's an extension of our mouth. So what faces should we pack? If you ever noticed, he's got this lovely little place in the back where you can pack all the different faces that he has. So which faces should we pack? Well, I'm going to share 5 faces I think we should pack. The first one is the empathetic face. The empathetic face. And empathy is best described as a genuine understanding and appreciation of someone else's feelings. People need to know that we think they're important. Because when people are made to feel important, they do their best. And empathy enables us to find common ground with other people.
Amen.
Because let's be honest, everybody wants somebody who will listen to them and make them feel what they feel. Don't we all want somebody to just listen to us sometimes? And I've learned over the years, and I'm not always good at it, and I'm so sorry about that. But I've learned that women often just want somebody to listen to them. And guys always want to fix stuff. So the woman comes to the man just looking for a sounding board, and the guy's trying to fix it. That doesn't work. Sometimes you just got to hear what they're saying. We're the empathetic face. The second face is the confident face. Most people will overcome the improbable and try to accomplish the impossible if they sense that other people have confidence in them. And there are 3 attitudes that promote the confident face. The first one is a sense of identity. We need to be secure in who we are. The second one is a sense of purpose. We have to understand how we fit into the world and into God's plan. And the third one is a sense of competence. We have to understand that we have gifts and graces that will allow us to properly carry out what God has called us to do. So the first face is the empathetic face. Second one is the confident face. The third one is the attentive face. Be aware. Be observant of what people around you are doing. Don't look preoccupied or bored when somebody is talking to you, but communicate instead the value of that person to them. So the third one is attentive. The fourth one is the sincere face. We need to display integrity and honesty and love. You know, they say the eyes are the window to the soul, and if that's true, I think the face is the motion picture screen to our intent. The face gives away our intent. Sincerity is speaking the truth in love. It's intertwining our appearance with our ideas. So the fourth one is the sincere faith, and the last one is the optimistic face. Optimism is a conscious choice. It's a conscious choice. Is your glass half full or is it half empty? Only you get to decide that. Would you rather hang out with Tigger or with Eeyore? That's the difference here with the optimistic face. Because I'm going to use my mother-in-law's term. Nobody likes a joy sucker. Yeah. I don't even need to describe what that is, do I? Everybody knows what that means. Optimism gives your ideas staying power. And Mr. Potato Head tells us that we have to be conscious of the face that we wear and the image that we communicate. We watched Toy Story 3 yesterday. Went out and bought it on DVD because we had grown up with the Toy Story movies in my house. And so we went out and bought that. It made me think of Toy Story 2. When the toys are getting ready to go out and rescue Woody. And Mrs. Potato Head has Mr. Potato Head there, and she's got the little thing in the back open, and she's throwing spare parts in there. If you've seen that movie, remember that? And she's telling him what she's packing. And she says, I'm packing extra pair of shoes in case you need them, and I'm putting in your angry eyes, just in case, she says. And later on, the trouble begins. And Mr. Potato Head's getting ready to rumble. So he pops off his regular eyes, and he reaches in his back, and he pulls it out, and he says, prepare to meet Mr. Angry Eyes. And instead, he accidentally pops on a pair of feet. And then he runs headlong into the wall and falls into pieces. Dale Carnegie says you'll make more friends in 2 weeks being a good listener than you will in 2 years trying to get other people interested in you. So today we consider how important strong, honest, positive communication is. And we consider how harmful mean-spirited and negative communication is. We have been reminded this morning that God calls us not to simply give in to the moods that strike us, but instead to speak wisely and to speak kindly and to let God cleanse our hearts and correct our attitudes so that we will speak positively and communicate positively. This week, my challenge to you is to try to find some way to build up every person that you come in contact with. Every person that you come in contact with, try to find some way to be positive and to build them up. That's today's call from God. And that's Mr. Potato Head's reminder about our call from God. So my question is, how will we respond to that? Would you pray with me?